Hey guys, it's Shane. I'm the teen librarian here at the Bangor Public Library, and we are here today to do our gnome craft. I miss having you guys here in person. I really wish that there was a way that we could do this together. There was just no real safe way to do it. So this really was our best alternative. But I can't wait for you guys to be able to get back in here so we can do some of this stuff together. So like I said, we are here for the gnome craft, so hopefully you have your kit that you picked up here at the library, and we are going to make our gnome, George. Okay, so here's what you're going to need. Everything should be provided for you in your bag, so we're going to open it up, and there's not a whole lot in here. We've got a sock, the twine rope that's going to end up being his beard, the lollipop stick, which is going to be for spreading the glue, and you are going to need this rubber band for later on, so try not to break that. You should have a bead for a nose. You should have said glue and one piece of string and your crafting cone. Now, all of this stuff, with the exception of the crafting cone, I actually got right at the dollar store. So not only is this really easy to make, it's relatively inexpensive to make as well. So just make sure you have all of these things. And then if you're wondering at all, so this is just this kind of mop. You literally just cut it off at the top, and it gives you a strand. So you just get kind of a cotton mop head, and you can get quite a few beards out of that. Okay, so hopefully you have all of this stuff in your packet, and you just take off the rubber band, set it off to the side, take your mop head rope and your stick. So hopefully you have all of that in your bag, and that's all you really need to make your gnome craft. Okay, so we're going to start with the beard. That's the longest process in this whole thing. It's not that difficult, but it is a little time consuming. So like I said, that's just one piece of the mop cut off at the top. It'll give you that length, and that's just about perfect for this cone. And we're going to kind of bend it in half, and then we're going to put it onto our cone so it just hangs over the edge just a little bit. You don't want it to hang down too low, but you don't want it up so high that you can actually see the cone on the bottom when it's done. You want it to kind of hang over the edge by maybe ½ an inch to an inch. So what we do is we're just going to take some of our glue paste, and again, we're just going to kind of get an idea of where we want it. And I like right there, so I'm going to mark that little spot. And then I'm going to put a very healthy amount. You don't really have to worry about putting too much on because it's not going to show. So I'm actually going to go around the entire cone, putting on a very liberal amount. You want enough glue paste on here so that when you stick the rope cone, it kind of pushes into the glue. So then you don't worry about it coming undone. So we've got that, and then we just kind of keep doing that all the way around. And don't worry if you see a little bit of the cone behind it, because you won't see it when we're done. Alright, so when it's finished, You have your mop head going all the way around. You see it comes down just a little bit below, and it goes all the way around. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your rubber band and you're going to put it down over the top and right over where the glue is. This is just going to help keep the rope in place while we do our next step. Just because this glue hasn't set yet, and it's going to have a tendency to want to pull away, and we don't want it to pull away just yet. So get it down just far enough so it'll hold on. You don't want to come down too far, and you'll see why later on. It's just because it will show later on in your craft. But you want it to be on there just enough that it's going to hold all of those little cotton mop threads on there. So at this point, your hands might be a little sticky. So now would be a good time to go wash your hands, kind of get that off. And we are going to set our glue off to the side because we don't need it until the end. You may have a few strands left over. If you want to try to cram them in there, you can. You don't have to, because what we're going to do next is unwind all these so it kind of looks like individual hairs. So we just find a place to start. We're going to just pick one, and we are going to just pull these apart. So this is the most time-consuming part because we have to do these individually. So they're in strands. Each strand has 2 strands of 2 strings. So we got to do one, and then pull the one apart, and then go back and pull the other one apart. So you'll end up with 4 separate pieces of string here. And if you pull too much, if you pull too much, you can kind of go back and trim a little bit. So I'm going to do a few more just to kind of show you how it goes. So again, we're just going to take and unwind them. And I'll do one more here. Alright, so you kind of get the feel of what it's going to look like. So I mean, this is what 1 looks like, and then this is what 3 look like, sort of pulled apart. So it's going to fill in the gaps behind when we get through. So you might see like these big gaps here right now, but don't worry about those, because by the time we get all of these sort of unwound, it's going to look like a pretty full beard. Okay, so when you're all done unwinding all of those, you'll notice you've got this really nice sort of wavy beard and matching hair in the back. So it should look like that. And like I said, that's the most time-consuming part. Once you get all that done, it's really quite simple. So we're going to go from here. We're going to take our sock, and we're going to take from the bottom. So we're going to leave the top sock where you'd actually put your foot in. We're going to leave that up towards the top. And we're just going to kind of push it up inside, so they'll have some sort of hat to leave behind. And then we're going to kind of give it a rim. We're just going to roll it a couple times and give it a nice little rim. And then that goes down over the top. Just far enough to cover the glue and the rubber band. So it's going to look like that. Either way, you can have it either way. I got a little, some of that mop stuck on there. So it's going to look just like this. We're going to leave that there. And then we're going to move on to our nose. So we're just going to take our bead, and the whole sides are actually going to go kind of where my fingers are. So we're not going to put it down because you don't want to see the hole. We're going to put those off to the side. So you just take another little slab of glue, really put a big glob on there. And then just kind of push a little bit of the hair away just underneath the hat, the rim of the hat. And then you can kind of fill the hair in underneath. Okay, so he's going to look just like that, or she's going to look just like that. And then we're almost done. All we have left is our little string, and we're really just going to kind of tie this off to kind of give it a nice sock cap look. So you can kind of put this wherever you want. You just take it and tie a knot. Tie it really tight. And you can trim some excess. You can leave a little bit, but you want to trim some of that excess. And now you have your very own gnome. I hope you guys had fun making this. We've got some more programs coming up in the coming weeks, so if you want to check out our website, it's www.bangorpubliclibrary.org. You can register for them on the teen page, and if you want to register for the summer reading program, you can do the same thing. Just go to the teen page of our website. And I hope you had fun making this, and I look forward to doing more of these with you. Thanks.